One, two, three. We welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Talks, where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. How you doing, Mom and Dad?
Oh, doing just great. Just glad to be alive and glad to be a bit above the dirt.
Yes.
Yes.
My mom's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mom. We're glad to have you on here, especially on Mom and Dad Talks. It's a very special day.
And ringing off the hook.
And this happy birthday moment, there's a lot of great moments in life, and interesting, my mom's birthday's in February, that we have a Super Bowl, and ironically, for the first time in Super Bowl history, they have two black quarterbacks competing each other for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Now, it used to be a significance, it was kind of under the radar, however, still a big significance because the stigma of black men and black women not being able to think, not smart enough. That's why the position was held back for a long time. And I heard Doug Williams talk about it, and he's so happy that he broke the mold. Had he not won the Super Bowl, black quarterbacks would have waited another 50 years before they would have had a chance because the stigma exists. And in saying that, Mom and Dad, how do you break past the conditioning or the stigmas that people place upon you?
Well, the only way that I find to break that stigma is to show people your intelligence. And that's a dangerous thing for black men, especially, because once society sees that you're an intelligent black person, then you become a target. And I'm thinking about a past president, President Obama. When people realized that this man was not only an American citizen, but he went to a prestigious Ivy League school and graduated and was president of his class. Then he became a target. And if I remember correctly, I think there were a group of politicians that refused to sign any paper that had his name on it. They blackballed him. Mm-hmm. But still, in my opinion, he was one of the greatest American presidents in modern history, even though they tried to hog tie him and tie him down. So once you show your intelligence as a black man, you become a target. Mm-hmm. Now, black women are treated completely different. Mm-hmm. They're treated completely different, but for black men, it's very, very dangerous.
So,
but we have to, as black men, set a precedent to let them know, to let the world know that we are intelligent. We can do things.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great point. I mean, Mom and Hantie, I know you just came in there. Hey, Hantie. We're talking about breaking through stigmas, right? Mom, how do you break through stigmas that people play on you?
Well, I always try to show them instead of tell them what I can do. Mm-hmm. And that basically breaks the barrier for me. Mm-hmm. I had an incident today where I was asked to play for a church on tomorrow, and I was only asked to play for a praise team, which is only 3 songs. Well, the whole church service was going. They have opening, closing song. They have offering and everything. And I pointed out to the person that asked me to play for the praise team. I said, "You're just asking me to come up here to play 3 songs, and I'm done." But I had to prove my point that, I can do more than what you're asking me to do. And it ended up that she called me back and told me that I was going to do the whole church service.
You are capable of playing the whole church service. And Hantie, the whole thing we're talking about stigmas, how to overcome stigma.
So I overcome it. Did she overcome it or did I overcome it?
Well, you're doing 2 things, right? You're trying to change hopefully show someone something different to have the opportunity if they want to change. Because if you don't want to believe it. I mean, Elijah McCoy invented all those inventions. That's why who's the real McCoy? He was a black inventor, successful black inventor, by the way. And, you know, they were like, this couldn't come from a black man, all these inventions, right? That's why that term, who's the real McCoy? And so just because you don't want to see doesn't mean it's not real. And some people, no matter if you show truth to them, they'll still believe a lie because it's so big that they want to believe that lie. They don't care what happens. But that's not what we're talking about. It's like for those people that need to see it or the proof in them, you just need to accept it. Like, you know what? That's a stigma that needs to be thrown out and move on, right? Hantie, how do you overcome stigmas?
Excuse me. That's a good topic because I think that we all get put into the stigma. We may not even realize it. But after you know, much consideration about what we're doing and how we're doing it, it's I'll skip all of that because as you may or may not know, I work at a predominantly white school, white Christian school. And it was not my dream to even work there. My kids Carlin wanted to go. Jennifer just did not. She didn't want to, but her dad insisted. and we're so glad now that he did.
Yes,
that he did. Because you know it's very important to not think that you know everything. That's important. Even as parents. You've never been a parent before. So there might be something you might learn.
Hey, it's a humbling thing every day with parents.
Yes, it is.
Every kid is different, and you're like, oh snap, what is this? This don't work the same way,
right? So how do we overcome that? I had to overcome the stigma that financial help was a no. If you needed financial help and you're going to college, that's not possible. But I had to get over that and think about something else. Now, thank goodness there's a director that has fought tooth and nail to overcome that stigma.
Yeah.
And to make the department a place where kids want to come. They want to get help, and there's plenty of help there for them.
And I think that, you know, this is a great segue to the next part. Thank you for putting that out there, because at the end of the day, to overcome a stigma, you got to know who you are as yourself.
That's correct.
That's
You
true.
can't let people define who you are. That's the first thing. People start defining you, whether it's in your family, outside your family, from one race or society or whatever, country, whatever, and you start believing in it, then guess what? The stigma sticks, right? But if you believe what God called you to be and you stick to that calling, you can overcome anything, because like I said, a lot of obstacles are out there to keep things in place. That's why people tell lies on folk. They hope they stick. That's the whole purpose of a lie. You hope that other people believe it enough where they think it sticks, and everybody's like, that's dumb. But that's the purpose of a lie, to deceive, and it's deception to make people go in a direction that they may not want to go, that they willfully go because they want to believe something so false. It's the craziest thing, but that's crazy. Hantie, you want to say something?
And it's easier to stick with a stigma.
Yes.
Than it is to change.
Yes.
Your thoughts, or see the need to be changed.
You know, like people assume because I'm a black male, I smoke weed. Never smoked a day in my life.
Or they assume that you never had a father in the home.
Yes, I've had a lot of that. And I have mom and dad talks. You guys are on here. Like, my mom and dad have been together. No, are you sure? I'm like, they've been with me all my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hantie, Uncle Frank, I mean, he was there for his kids until he died. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we do have a lot of families that do that. And as common as a misperception is, I was just talking to my man Corleone, I works with Wu-Tang Records. He said 70%, this is a fact, 70% of black men get engaged with their children. But the stigma is they're always gone.
That's
Mm.
The stigma is that they're absent from the home. However, 70% of black men actually engage with their children.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell people there's a lot more people like me,
Mm-hmm.
it's true. But people want to believe a stigma, and that stigma sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, folks, hope that you have a great time on Mom and Dad. Hope you don't let the stigma stick to you. Break the stereotypes. Don't pray. Dad, you want to say something before we close?
And you have to realize that you have to break the chain that holds you back. You know, rather than just being satisfied with people think I'm nothing, so I'm not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
Yeah.
How do you say it? Intelligence is something that you can really gain in this age of, computers and everything. It's very easy to appear intelligent nowadays. And you don't have to worry about being stigmatized as being ignorant and non-informed.
Yeah.
Speak up. Speak up. Prove to them that you're smart. You're smarter than they are. When I was building it on the back porch, redoing my neighbors came over. Oh, I didn't know you could do carpentry work. It's just swinging a hammer and cutting wood. I mean, that's no biggie. So break the cycle. Break the cycle of ignorance.
That's why I say showing, seeing is believing.
That's correct. Prove them wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell them they're wrong. Prove that they're wrong.
Show them.
That's right.
So, folks, I mean, we can end on that note right there, and to break a stigma that I had. Look, I put a cabinet up in my house, Dad, for the first time, and it hasn't fallen down.
Hey, man.
So anyway, folks, we'll see you next time on Mom and Dad Talks. Break those stereotypes. Don't conform to it. The worst thing you can do is perpetuate the lie and agree to something someone labeled you to. Don't let that label be stuck to you. Till next time, we'll see you on Mom and Dad Talks.
Right.